and you're meeting with so many professionals, and you know if you click or you don't. You get to taste the food of these different caterers. You get the cake from the different bakers. So you get to experience these different things. You get to take pictures with the photo booth instead of just talking to the guy over the phone and go, okay, I think I understand what you mean by whatever.
Welcome to the Evermoore Wedding Vendor Show, where we chat with local wedding vendors. I'm Josh from Evermoore Films, the host of the Evermoore Wedding Vendor Show, also the home of the Evermoore Wedding Vendor Directory, where we have over 1,000 local wedding vendors listed in the Central California area. Let's get into today's show. Today, we're talking to Kyle from the Kern County Bridal Association. Kyle has a wonderful association he's been running for a long time, the longest running association here in Kern County. And he puts on a bridal show. And it is the biggest January show that we have in Bakersfield. So he's here to talk about his show that is coming up in January and tell us a little bit about that. How you doing, Kyle? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing great, and thanks for having me. So the show, yes, it is the longest running show. We started our shows in 1996. We've done close to 100 shows. So it's the longest running show, and we are the only association in Kern County. So
that's great.
That makes it nice. Do a couple of shows a year. At one point, we were doing 3 a year. We scaled that back a little bit, made them bigger. So this show is at the Kern County Fairgrounds. It's the only place big enough, honestly, to hold all the vendors, the fashion show, and everything that's going on for this event. It's the last Sunday of the month. So I think that's the 29th of January. And we're shooting towards between 80 and 90 wedding and event professionals. So, and that's important. Event professionals. Yeah. Because if you're planning a wedding, of course, you definitely want to be there. You've got the fashion show and the giveaways and the prizes and et cetera, et cetera. But what if you're planning a quinceañera or a birthday party or a summer picnic for your company or any number of birthday, whatever it might be? This is the place to be. You're going to find DJs and caterers and venues and cinematographers and coordinators and photo booths. And I could go on with the myriad of different vendors that are there to help support your celebration, whatever it might be. So yeah, it's the biggest.
Yeah. Well, and it's always been the biggest. So I think, as a fellow wedding professional, as someone who's been to a lot of bridal shows, both locally and beyond, you really do put on the biggest show.
Thank you.
And
appreciate that.
And that is great. So for brides who maybe just got engaged over Christmas and you're looking for where do we go to get all this information?
So you jump on our website, KernCountyBridalAssociation.com. It's right there at the top of the website. It says click here for tickets. And the cool part is we have 3 kinds of tickets available. We've got your normal general admission tickets. They get you in the door. Very inexpensive, easy as that. Then if you're like, no, I'm going for the fashion show. I want to have some extra time with those wedding professionals. I want to have a seat for the fashion show and see the latest gowns and tuxedos and hear the latest music.
Right.
Then you get the VIP tickets. A little bit more expensive, but not much. And you're like, no, I want to be a little bougie. I want front row, etc.
Yeah.
You can do that as well. And we have front row VIP tickets. The beauty of VIP and front row VIP is you get in a half hour early. So you get a little extra time with the event professional. So you get some one-on-one time because not as many people get those tickets, of course. You have your own line, your own entrance. So you get your own entrance in there. And there's a couple extra prizes, and you get a guaranteed bag full of goodies from all the different professionals. So there's a lot of benefit to being VIP or front row VIP. Of course, front row VIP is very limited because it's just the front row.
Right. So it's like the fast pass with perks.
Correct. Fast pass with perks. I like that. One of the other things that's brand new this year that we're doing, which is going to be really cool, it's called Cash for Contracts.
Okay.
Like, well, what's that, right?
Right.
What that is obviously a lot of the brides who are attending have done some pre-interviews with these vendors, and they're still on the fence and kind of making a decision, but not really sure yet.
Right.
But when they get to the show, if they put down a deposit at the show, they bring that to our front desk, so to speak, or our, the people when they came and checked in, and they show that contract that they paid a deposit. we're going to put them in a special drawing that is going to be drawn at the show. And we are going to pick 4 winners, and we're going to pay up to 10% or $250 of their contract.
Nice.
So they have a chance to win 10% of their contract or up to $250 towards their service. And we're going to pick 4. Now, they can't win more than one. If they book more than one, they have more chances, but I can't pick them 3 times in a row, you know?
Right, that'd be fantastic, though.
That'd be awesome.
I got a free wedding.
Yeah. So it's just a way to kind of, you know, encourage them to make a decision, and to put down the deposit and lock that professional in.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be hundreds of brides there, and somebody's going to book them. Might as well be you. Block your date off. There's only so many Saturdays in a year.
Oh, yeah. Well, and yeah, because I know you and I have both been in this game for a long time. And
oh, yeah.
It comes down to availability. It comes down to availability. And if a bride says, hey, we're getting married, you know, on October 10th, it's like, well, we know that's a popular day already because it's 10/10. Yep. You know, whatever day of the week that's on, it's 10/10 is popular, you know? Like
yep. Exactly.
So there's limited availability. And so it's like, yeah, if you book at the show, I mean, to have a little extra prize, that's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. And be able to save some money. And the other thing that we're going to do is we're also going to bring back the bride coupon, basically. So you as a vendor might say, look, at the show, and for up to 30 days, 15 days, whatever it might be, I'm going to offer this special exclusively for these brides. And it might be a couple $100 off. It might be per hour of service. It might be whatever it might be. And that's going to be in a coupon book. That coupon book, last time we did it, was worth almost $12,000 in savings between all the different vendors. If you booked the venue in there, and you booked the videographer, cinematographer in there, and you booked the DJ and the catering, you could save thousands of dollars off your wedding just by walking in the door. So,
there you go.
Yeah. So we're bringing that back as well.
Nice. Well, so I mean, right there, it's like,
yeah,
the tickets are what, like $10 or something for general admission?
Yeah, exactly. $10 or $15, something like that. I can't remember right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Less than $20, and you can save thousands of dollars just for showing up. That's a pretty good deal.
That's a pretty good deal. And the beauty of it, these vendors, and by the way, so vendor wise, here's what we're looking at.
Yeah.
You've got venues. So everything from, you know, a backyard or outdoor wedding, or the museum or something like that, to, you know, the country clubs, to the hotels, private venues on the river, you know, barns. And so the variety of venues alone is amazing, and things you didn't think of, like, oh, I didn't think about getting married on the river. Now you know, photo booths, the different types of photo booths that are out there. You've got your stand, you've got the 360, you've got the mirror, you've got all kinds of choices in photo booth. Photographer. Now you're looking at personality and their eye. Every photographer has a niche of what they do. And you're looking for the one that kind of captures your spirit and the way that you want your pictures taken. Do you want more of a journalistic photo, or do you want more romantic, or do you want something in between, or candid? There's so many different options that having a show where you can meet 3, 4, 5, 6 different photographers gives you an idea. Cinematographer, you know what your specialty is. There's nobody who does what Josh does. There are other cinematographers.
Thank you.
And there's other videographers.
Right.
But there's nobody that does the love stories that you do, that takes the time to put the effort in there. And they're going to be able to see that when they come out and they meet with 2 or 3.
And everyone in every category, everyone is unique. Everyone's got their own take on things, and every bride is unique, and they, you know, every couple wants something different. You know, some people want the romantic thing, some people want the party thing, some people want this or that, and so,
and you know,
being able to meet all of these vendors in one place is like, talk about saving you serious time. Come spend a couple hours, meet 50 to 100 vendors, all at once, and it's like that would have taken you weeks to try to like set up.
If that. You know, that's the beauty of it. You're in there for 3 hours, 3.5 hours VIP, and you're meeting with so many professionals, and you know if you click or you don't. You get to taste the food of these different caterers.
Yeah.
You get the cake from the different bakers. So you get to experience these different things. You get to take pictures with the photo booth instead of just talking to the guy over the phone and go, okay, I think I understand what you mean by whatever.
Right.
Actually
You mean
get
it
to
spins around? Like,
yeah, exactly. You actually get to get in there and experience it and get a photo or get a video and get it back and go, oh my gosh, this was amazing. This was so much fun. The limousine, you get to walk by the limousines and go, yeah, we need to show up this way.
right.
Or the portable restrooms. I mean, you think, oh gosh, porta potty. No. I mean, yes, you can get those, but there are some not, I mean, you
Oh,
wish you
yeah.
had this bathroom, porta potties that are out there. So you have a wedding at your house. The rental items are endless, from the rental companies that come out. So, and then there's some unique things that you don't think about, whether it's insurance, or it's real estate, or they're all related to that beginning of your new life together.
Yeah,
The opportunity
definitely.
is just amazing.
Right. So for couples who are looking for vendors,
Mhm.
what sort of categories of vendors are they going to see at the show?
So, venue, caterer, baker, florist, transportation, because that's more than just limousine, transportation, cinematography, photography, DJ, possibly a band. We have a couple of bands that have shown interest in being in the show.
Nice.
Wedding officiant, one of the things that I do. The person who's going to stand up there and actually marry you in front of all your friends and family. The photo booth, like I said, I can't. There's just so many different categories that you
Yeah.
find there. Then you find your one-offs, like I call it. The beauty, the makeup, the hair, the fitness, all these things dresses, of course, tuxedos. How can we forget?
Right.
So you've got all these different categories. You're getting there, and you're going, oh my gosh, it's all here. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
just a few categories covered.
Just a few.
Yeah.
Um, so you said for this show, brides can expect to talk to roughly how many vendors
I'm
are we
hoping
planning for?
between 70 and 90. 90 is our max that we can actually fit in the building.
Okay.
And we have had 90 before. We're hoping between 70 and 80. Give us a little bit of walking room and the brides. I mean, I have a couple of ideas, and I don't know that these are going to happen yet. But if we don't sell all the vendor space, and believe it or not, I'm kind of hoping not to. I want to have a couple of breakout session areas where
Nice.
some of the different vendors can do a little 10 to 15-minute presentation about what to look for when hiring a DJ, a cinematographer, looking for a venue, hiring a caterer, whatever it might be, a bartending service. All those things are going to be there. So
Yeah.
that's one of my plans, is to start implementing education as well at the show. So
That's fantastic.
yeah,
Very cool. Very
kind of
cool.
fun.
Yeah. Well, so I think one question that couples might have as they think about coming up to a show
Mhm.
is like hearing all this, like, okay, this sounds fantastic. There's going to be a lot of vendors. There's going to be, hours. There's time to talk. There's a
Yep.
fashion show. So now I'm like, okay, maybe this is a little overwhelming. What are
Oh
some
yeah.
tips for navigating the
So
kind of overwhelmingness of this?
first off, bring your friends. You're getting overwhelmed. You're getting all this information. You're getting excited. Have your mom or your future mother-in-law, have your bridesmaid, your maid of honor, have your crew with you,
Yeah.
supporting you. They're giving you advice. They're pulling you back and pulling your reins in sometimes when you're just, oh my gosh, yes, get this, get this, get this. They're your calming source. So have your tribe with you. That's one. Two, you are going to do a lot of walking. I know those heels look beautiful and you love wearing them. Tennis shoes.
Right.
Wear tennis shoes. Okay? You're gonna get your steps in. I promise you. So
Right.
that's number two. Number three, this is a fun one actually, is labels with your name, email address, wedding date, phone number, your contact information, because the different vendors are having their own giveaways. And do you want to keep filling out pieces of paper over and over and over and over again?
Right.
Peel and stick, peel and stick. So much better. So those are just a few ideas. Bring a camera. Well, of course, everybody's got a camera with their phone now.
Right.
Take pictures, take video, take notes. I met with Josh and I love his cinematography. I love his style. I definitely want to get with him. I got his card. And so she's got notes now,
Right.
take notes, do it old school, get a piece of paper and a pen, a little notebook. But you can also do that on your phone. Again, taking pictures of the gowns or the services you like. Get a picture of the booth. That way you can look back and go, oh yeah, that's right. This booth here. I wanted to talk to them. So take pictures by all means in video.
Yeah.
So those are my top tips. There's 1,000 other ideas. Get there early. I wouldn't say come hungry, but there's caterers there, so you are going to eat. And just have fun. This is an experience. It's one of the few times that you have this long buildup to an amazing experience that you then get to look back on the rest of your life. So enjoy the journey. It's about that part of it, because the day of, it's going to go by so fast.
Yeah.
And you're honestly not going to remember all the details of the day, but the journey getting there, and then reflecting back on the video that was created for you, go, oh my God, I forgot that this happened or that happened. I can create the moments as a DJ. I can get people on the dance floor. I can do all these things. But at the end of the day, if you can't look back and remember it, you're losing some of that. So it works so well together, having those moments captured and the moments created, that it's amazing. And this is all the stuff about the journey before and the adventure after. That's what it's all about. The moment of the day, it goes by like that. It's so fast, and you're thinking about this and you're worried about that and you're trying to accomplish this and you're trying to calm this. It's so fast.
It does.
And you can look back and enjoy it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for that, Kyle. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to hear some fun stories from Kyle's time in the wedding industry.
Okay.
If you're planning a wedding in Central California, you have to check out the Evermoore Wedding Vendor Directory. We've built one of the most comprehensive directories for local wedding vendors in the Central California area. You can sort by county and by category, so you can find anything from hair and makeup to cake bakers to videographers, photographers. We have it all. Go check it out. It's free to use for brides, and if you're a vendor looking to get your name in front of couples who are engaged, go get yourself listed on the Evermoore Wedding Vendor Directory. It's free to join. We look forward to seeing you there at evermoorefilms.com. Click on the Evermoore Wedding Vendor Directory tab on the top and check it out.
Elegant, romantic, timeless. Choose a wedding film that brings back the goosebumps and butterflies from your wedding day. A wedding film you're proud to show family and friends. Reliable, affordable, convenient. Choose a wedding videographer that you can trust to do an amazing job, that can creatively work with your budget, that is easy to communicate with. A wedding day is made up of priorities unique to you. No matter your budget, you choose what's important to you. Have zero regrets as you plan the wedding celebration of your dreams. Get monthly payment plans with zero deposit, online contracts, free printables, vendor lists, and more. Choose a wedding film that you will cherish forevermore. Choose Evermoore Films.
Well, Kyle, I know you've been in the wedding industry for a long time, and so you've probably got some great stories to share with us.
Oh, yeah.
What comes to mind for you?
So most of my stories actually revert back to my being a DJ, a professional master's ceremony.
Right. I'm sure there's a lot of stories there.
Oh my gosh. I got some cautionary tales and I got some just great moments. So I'm going to share probably one of my favorite moments as a DJ.
Okay, let's hear it.
I never knew what was accomplished until it was over with. So there's an issue with Alzheimer's and dementia and stuff like that. And people not remembering and being very sedentary and just lost, when they're at an event. So I had a bride who booked me, this is probably 10 years ago,
Okay.
to be her DJ. And I said, great, that'd be awesome. So what are we doing? And we go through the whole timeline. And that's very important for your master of ceremony to work with you on the timeline and then share that with your other professionals. But I'm getting off topic.
Right.
We're going through all this stuff. And I said, so is your dad going to walk you down the aisle? And she's like, I don't know. He has dementia and Alzheimer's, and he's not really all there. So we have to kind of play it by ear. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping he does, but if not, my brother's going to jump in and walk me down the aisle. I said, okay, no problem. Now I know what's going to happen.
Right.
I said, well, that brings the question, father-daughter dance. What's the plan there? She goes, same thing. I'm hoping to get a moment or two with him on the dance floor, and we'll see what happens. But again, I don't know what his condition is going to be that day, and we'll see what happens. So ceremony begins, music begins, he's seated and stuff like that. And her brother walks her most of the way down the aisle. And then he takes over and takes like 3 or 4 steps. And then the brother takes over again, and the dad gets seated. And we do the ceremony, go through the whole ceremony, do all that kind of stuff, move on to the reception. They go off to take pictures, the whole 9 yards. And for the reception, I'm playing 50s and 60s music, love songs, and things like that. There's a whole curated list of music based on the bride and groom that I play, depending on the event. So I'm playing 50s and 60s music. And I kind of noticed, but I didn't notice, that the dad is just kind of nodding his head a little bit and just going to the music, enjoying the music. And so I can continue on that vein. I start playing a little bit more of the 50s and 60s stuff. And he's kind of getting into it. Not a lot. I mean, he's still kind of, in his shell, but he's getting into it. And so it comes time for the father-daughter dance. And she had picked a 50s song to dance with her dad. He gets up and he dances the entire song with her. Because I learned this later, but what had happened. So, well, first off, she goes and says, this was better than my first dance with my husband. And anything else, I got an extra 3.5, 4 minutes with my dad. He was fully present at that moment. He was there, and
that's amazing.
His original self. And it just gives me chills to think about it. But what I learned years later, and I enjoyed that. I was like, oh my God, that was great. I'm glad he came out,
Right. Not
realizing that there's a movie out there called Alive Inside. It's a documentary, and it talks about Alzheimer's and dementia. I just happened to, these things just come up. And this doctor had an experiment. He brought remember the original iPods, the little square ones and whatever?
Oh, yeah.
He would go to nursing homes where people had dementia and Alzheimer's, and he would interview them as best as he could, when they were born and this kind of stuff. And then he would curate music and give them a headset and put that on. And then he'd re-interview them. And the thing is that music
would bring it back
to their childhood, to their teen years, to their 20s. And these people, you watch that movie, it's amazing. And to realize that
I'm crying.
I know, it's amazing that by accident, this was not planned. By accident, I was able to recreate that because the music I was playing was reaching him and bringing him
That's
out
amazing.
of his shell, and just created a day that we'll never forget. I mean, it was amazing. So that's probably my favorite story. Another one. Yeah, I mean, you can just stop right there, right?
I know, right? Like, okay, episode's done. Drop the mic, walk away. This is great.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh,
I know
that is amazing.
Another amazing moment like that is I do a thing called the marriage dance. Okay, I came up with this. 25 years ago, and now you see other DJs doing it and stuff like that. But whatever. So the purpose of the dance is after their first dance as husband and wife. Now we want to honor everybody who has been married for however long, 6 hours, 60 years. It doesn't matter. And I actually have 2 stories with that particular item. So as we're dismissing couples off the dance floor, even married less than 6 hours, 6 days, 6 years, whatever, they
Right.
get off the dance floor and we start making a circle around the couple that ends up being the longest married couple. So these are two separate incidents, but I'm going to kind of combine them into one.
Yeah.
So we get down to the final bride and groom, and the song's over. I bring the bride and groom back out, and I say, so I turn to the couple that's been married for so long. I said, how long have you been married? They said 72 years.
Wow.
Wow, that's amazing. So we got 7.2 hours and 72 years. And so I'll talk to the husband and wife, and I'll say, so what advice do you have? And the wife, this is kind of funny, depending on how long they've been married. If they're married, say, pre-70s, it's one answer. If they're married after the 70s, it's a different answer. So pre-70s, the answer from the wife is, well, so what makes your marriage successful? Well, make sure his dinner's ready and his clothes are. So it's taking care of your husband. It's the old, I'm the wife, I stay at home and I do these kinds of things.
Right.
And if it's 70s and now, it's more of communication, love each other, don't go to bed angry, that kind of stuff. So it's more of the cohesive, symbiotic relationship. So anyway, so that's kind of funny. And then I turn to the husband, and those are usually the same. Well, whatever she says, that kind of stuff.
Right.
This was very cute. So the husband, he turns and he says, Sissy, because that's his granddaughter's name, or what he called her. He said, Sissy, I'll tell you something. In all the years that we've been married, there's been good times, there's been bad times, excellent times. I mean, we've lived through all kinds of stuff. There's been, blessings, and there's been disasters. There's been, amazing times, and there's been fights and everything else. And I've learned one thing: in every fight, there's a winner and there's a husband. And I thought that was really funny, and I loved it. But that's one. And now back to the other one, same thing, dismissing people and so on and so forth.
Right.
And we go through it, and the husband and wife say something very poignant to the bride and groom who just got married. About an hour later, I had one of the sisters of the mother of the bride come up to me, and she goes, I just want to thank you. And I said, you're welcome. The same thing we actually get
Right.
quite often, because we do love what we do and we're good at what we do. So we get that, thankfully, quite often. No, she goes, I just want to thank you. I said, no, you're very welcome. I appreciate it. I had a good time. And she goes, you don't understand. I said, well, elaborate.
Yeah.
Goes, my sister and I haven't spoken for 20 years because I don't even know why. And as you were dismissing people off the dance floor, we had to stand next to each other. We didn't have to, but that's how it laid out.
Right.
And we started talking again, and reconciled, and we're back to being family again.
That's amazing.
And I'm like, wow, okay. So the opportunities throughout the evening are just amazing. There's so many opportunities that the DJ can create, the cinematographer can capture, that all these things, if they work together, you can create the memories that are just priceless.
Yeah.
Now, on the cautionary side, this is just one that I ran into. It was at one of the local country clubs. This is, God, almost 20 years ago. They decided to have an open bar.
Right.
Open before the ceremony.
Oh, that kind of open.
Yeah, that kind of open. And the
oh man,
people were drinking and getting drunk and stuff like that. And both dads got drunk before the ceremony.
Oh,
and got in a fight in the lobby to where there was actual, not a lot, but blood on the floor.
Oh my gosh.
They got in the fight. So, and that was before they even walked down the aisle.
Oh,
so keep the bar till later, open
right.
Later, that kind of thing. So that's just a cautionary tale. The other thing
is a great cautionary tale.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy,
Oh man.
But there's things like that happen.
Oh yeah.
So
wow. well, you took us from here to here real fast there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, real fast.
that is fantastic. Well, if you want to take maybe a minute or two as we're closing out here, and just give a couple some advice on planning their wedding, budgeting, especially because I know that's always a hot topic.
Yeah.
Hate to give you only
So,
2 minutes for budgeting, but
well, I'll be real simple with budgeting. Budgeting, first off, before you just decide what something costs, make a couple phone calls, do a little bit of research,
yeah,
because you know I'll tell you, and I don't mind sharing. As a DJ, I'm charging 3,800 for 4 hours to start. That's right now in 2023, 2024. That
right,
obviously will change. But I put an average of 40 plus hours into a wedding before I walk in the door. Same thing with you. I'm sure I can go out and find somebody with a camera that's not
right,
going to cost me what Josh cost me, but you are not going to get the same memories and the same quality. And the thing to look at is if your budget is here, let's say it's $30,000, just as a round number. Okay.
right.
Think about what's important to you. Is the memories important to you? Is it the creation of the memories that are important to you? Well, if you think about that, $30,000 budget and $3,800. I don't want to, give away other prices like that.
Oh yeah,
But, we're talking what percentage of your entire budget
right,
is dedicated to 90% of the success of your reception.
right,
Your food is great and people are going to eat, whether you go, you know what, let's bring In-N-Out in. Love In-N-Out,
right,
bring In-N-Out in. They're going to eat, or you're like, no, let's go steak and lobster. Different prices, your guests are going to eat. you know you have to think about what's your priority, and then
yes,
from there, you know is it the memories, is it the creation of the memories, is it the flowers? Maybe you're a foodie and food is the most important thing to you because you're a chef and food is your thing, and okay, fine, then build your budget around that. But the most important
right.
is to call first before you decide, well, my budget is $7,000. Okay. You know,
And then you call and find out that it's 15.
yeah. And you call and find out that the DJ is half your budget and you don't even have a venue yet. Get an
Right,
idea of what you want and find out what that's going to cost, and then figure out your budget and then plan accordingly. Don't figure you got a $30,000 budget and I want to get married in 2 weeks.
right.
Okay, for a $30,000 budget, then that's a small budget, to be honest with you. There are larger $50,000 and $100,000 weddings and stuff like that. And of course, then there's the ridiculous ones. But
Right, right.
your average wedding is probably between 27 and about 60,000. That's kind of your bubble for the
Yeah.
most average wedding. Okay. Figure out from there what you want and then budget accordingly. And then also look, is 60,000 in my budget today? Or is that something that we're going to have to budget for and work for and make payments on? So we're going to get married in a year and a half. Or,
And ask about vendors doing payments. Like we do
yeah,
monthly installments, and I know we're
I
not the
do.
only vendor that does that.
Nope, I do monthly payments as well.
Yeah,
And another thing, so I take Venmo and Cash App and Zelle and Apple Pay and credit cards and debit cards and checks.
right.
But if you pay cash, you're going to get a discount. So ask about discounts. The other thing too is on that budgeting, back to the bridal show. You walk in, they have show specials. They're
Show
saying, hey,
specials.
book me, over the next 14 days, book me today, book me the next 14 days, book me the next month, whatever that particular one is offering. And maybe they're not saying, here, I'm going to give you $10 off, but I'm going to give you, the upgraded chair covers, or I'm going to give you the highlight reel, for free,
Right.
because my service, or I'm going to throw in, the laser lights, or I'm going to throw in the photo booth, or
I'm convinced. I'm
yeah.
sold. Let's go. Let's be at this show. Let's
I
do
know,
it.
huh? But that's just it. Ask about the deals. Don't be afraid to say, hey, if I book you today or if I book you this week,
Right.
can we do something? I'll bet you almost every one of the vendors are going to go, you got it.
Right.
I'll
Right.
take care of you.
Well, thank you so much for sharing, Kyle. Let's wrap it up with telling people how to get a hold of you, how to get tickets, and all that good stuff.
Okay. So the easiest thing is, of course, pick up the phone, give us a call, 661-633-9200. Or you want to be bougie, I have a toll-free number, 866-MY-WEDDING.
Hey.
Yeah. But our website is also the best place to get information. Kern County Bridal Association.com. You'll find all of the professionals listed there. You're going to find tickets there. You're going to find a little bit of advice, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And of course our Facebook page. And we do give away tickets on our Facebook page once in a while. So, but you'll find that on our website. Just click on the Facebook.
Kern County Bridal Association, KernCountyBridalAssociation.com. That's the one.
That's right. Exactly.
Awesome. Go check it out.
Thank you.
Thanks for being on the show, Kyle.
Thanks for having me.
If you like today's episode, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on Apple iTunes and YouTube, where we have the video version of the show. Be sure to leave us a comment or review. Let us know what you liked, what you learned. And until next time, I'm Josh from Evermoore Films. Be sure to tune in next week for another episode of the Evermoore Wedding Vendor Show.